This is a Fonzie Studio podcast. Welcome to Tales from the First Nations. I'm Jay Idle, and every week I'll share with you a tale and ancient wisdom of the native tribes of North America. I'll be joined by my cats, Dawa and Fonzie, who will undoubtedly make their presence known at some point, so I might as well just list them as co-host. We hope you'll enjoy the tales and wisdom, raise your vibration, and enrich your life with us every week. Welcome, friends. Welcome to the 40th episode of Tales from the First Nations. I'm your host, Jay Idle. I had a dream last night. It was an interesting dream about a prairie dog. Now, I won't tell you about my dreams because most of them seem like they're written by a 4-year-old that's on acid. But they never really make sense or fit together in any way. But anyway, there was a prairie dog. And her name was Polly, and she was young and fun and playful, and it was really cool. Now, a prairie dog isn't an animal that I typically think of or associate with anything, really, so I did a little digging to find out what Polly was here to teach me. The prairie dog has long been a meaningful animal for many Native American tribes living on the Great Plains where these animals are abundant. For the Apache, Hopi, Navajo, and Pawnee, the prairie dog was revered for its digging skills. They saw this as its ability to travel between the Earth's surface and the underworld. Prairie dog burrows symbolized inner reflection and spiritual enlightenment. In Cheyenne and Arapaho legends, the prairie dog is cast as a protector of the people, standing watch and sounding alarms at signs of danger. As a result, the prairie dog symbolized vigilance, loyalty, and community protection. For the Apache and Navajo tribes, prairie dogs are seen as symbols of spiritual enlightenment. In Mexican folk magic, a prairie dog's skull is sometimes placed beneath a sleeping child to protect it from nightmares, which is kind of interesting. A Lakota legend tells of a terrible drought. As food disappeared, the starving people, they turned into prairie dogs to burrow for survival. This emphasizes the prairie dog's resourcefulness. In one Dene Navajo tale, the prairie dogs voluntarily sacrificed themselves to provide food for first man and first woman when resources were scarce. His selflessness allowed the tribe to endure. A principal meaning of the prairie dog symbol is community. Prairie dogs live in large, complex colonies which emphasize the importance of social bonds, cooperation, and group identity. It reminds us to cherish our communities, actively participate, and remember that through our connection to one another, we can all thrive. Prairie dogs have advanced communication abilities as well. They use sounds and behaviors to warn each other about predators, share food locations, and describe individual identities. So, as a spirit animal, they emphasize clear communication within their group. It reminds us to listen closely to each other and to share our truths clearly. Prairie dogs are always on the lookout for threats. They stand upright on their hind legs to get a better view, and when they spot danger, they use specific warning calls. This symbolizes vigilance and conscious awareness. The prairie dog spirit tells us to be more alert to potential threats or opportunities coming our way. The last main quality is their adaptability. Prairie dogs survive in challenging grassland environments by being highly adaptable social animals. They modify burrow systems seasonally and alter behavior to avoid predators. Their adaptability teaches us flexibility, and by adjusting to changing conditions, we persist through difficulties. Now today I have 2 stories for you, and they're not very long. The first one comes from the Hopi people, and the other one comes from the Hikorea Apache. Now, the Hopi people have a fascinating legend about the prairie dog, and it's one that I'd like to share with you today. This is a story about Coyote and Prairie Dog. At the foot of the mesa near Coyote Ridge lived Prairie Dog. He made his home in some rocks. One day, while Coyote was out hunting, he sat down on the rocks to rest. Suddenly, he heard a whistle, a very loud whistle. He jumped up. He looked all around, but could see no one. So he sat down again. Again, he heard the whistle, but this time he saw the Prairie Dog sitting on top of one of the rocks. "Oh, it was you that whistled," said the Coyote. "I always whistle when I'm happy," said the Prairie Dog. "It's my way of singing." "I've heard you before," said the Coyote. "I've wondered what it was. Now I know. I can't whistle, but I have my own kind of sound. So when I hear you again, I will answer back with my own sound," said the Coyote. So, if you're listening closely some evenings, you will hear the Coyote and the Prairie Dog singing. I like that story because it's a nice friendly encounter between the Coyote and the Prairie Dog. But I think the main takeaway that the Coyote missed was that the Prairie Dog was looking out for his tribe. He saw the Coyote and was letting his community know of danger. The other cool takeaway, and this is my favorite, I hope that a lot of people pick up on this takeaway actually, it's that you don't need to be aggressive in the face of conflict. The Prairie Dog didn't prepare for battle at the first sign of trouble. He and the Coyote shared a song. They saw each other and they knew what each other was. There was no denying it, but it didn't lead to conflict. There are ways forward with outsiders that don't involve turmoil and anger and chaos. For our final story, we turn to two Korea Apache legends. They believe that the Prairie Dog controlled the weather. Now, this is two small stories, and I present them together so we can see the comparison and the power of the mighty Prairie Dog. Prairie Dog is a leader for the rain, too. One time, a man was very thirsty. He didn't know where to get water. He'd thrown away all his arrows, his quiver, and everything heavy, for he was so thirsty that he was ready to die. He lay down at a Prairie Dog's hole and begged for water. After a while, Prairie Dog came out with a very small cup and a little water in it. The man thought it would not be enough to help him. He took it, however, and drank, and drank, and drank. But he couldn't drink all of it, though he drank for a long time. Now his mind began to clear, and he was beginning to feel better. Prairie Dog said to him, "Pick up your bow and arrows and blanket and start to walk. Go on, and you will come to more water. The people are going to give you more water." So he walked along. He came to a place where there had been a heavy rain. He knew that Prairie Dog had sent it. Now we believe that Prairie Dog has the power of the water. Once, 44 men went out to the plains on a warpath. 43 died, and the last was almost dead of thirst. He finally dropped right beside a Prairie Dog hole. Prairie Dog came out and asked, "Why do you lie beside my home?" "I'm nearly dead of thirst. All my companions are gone." "Come with me." Prairie Dog led him into his home, and there gave him a small vessel filled with water. Though it was small, his thirst was quenched, and there was some water left. Prairie Dog said to him, "This will last you 4 days." It did, and he got back to his people. Prairie Dog gave him no songs or ceremony. He just took pity on him and saved him from death. The compassion and mercy that the Prairie Dog showed to these passing strangers should remind us that we're all connected and need to be cared for, no matter who we are or where our journey leads us. From Prairie Dog's peaceful engagement with a predator to its compassion for a passing stranger in need, I think we can all learn a lot from this kind and wonderful companion on our journey through life. It's with respect and gratitude that I thank you for sharing my journey with me and for sharing your time with me on this podcast. I wish you well and look forward to sharing another story with you next week. Go in peace, return in peace, and may you be well. I got a lot of information about prairie dogs from the website truespiritanimal.com. Our first story about the coyote and the prairie dog came from the alias Rez02. It's a project at the Moenkopi Youth Center in Tuba City, Arizona in 2002. Our second group of stories, the He-Korea Apache legends about the prairie dog and rain, came from the Memoirs of the American Folklore Society, volume 31, published in 1938. For more great stories and legends, check out the Jaguar Bird channel on YouTube. There's a lot of wonderful content there. And of course, join me next time, right here, for another story on Tales from the First Nations. I'm Jay Idle, and I'll talk to you next time. Music, what you're listening to right now, is provided by my dear friend Scott Brocklesby, and our podcast image was provided by Mark Lawton. I'd also like to thank my spell checker for harassing me over my misspelling of prairie to the point that I learned how to spell it. Prairie. Thank you, Microsoft Word. We'll see you next time. All right, that's it. How'd we do, Dawa? Phones? Excellent. Then I'll share it.